we call codices. Only 4 of these have survived.
Y estos son glifos.
Ah, como el mío.
They contain glyphs.
Sí. Vamos a mandarlos descifrar.
We must send yours away for deciphering. Most of the knowledge we have of ancient Maya life comes from the writings of a Franciscan, Diego de Landa, a monk who came to Yucatan in 1549.
¿Quiénes son esos hombres? ¿Qué están haciendo? Ellos.
He used to observe the Maya and noted their use of glyphs, and later tried to translate them into Spanish. In his writings, Landa established the base for deciphering the glyphs, which were a mixture of syllables and words.
They wrote in their books about their sciences. The sciences they taught were the counting of days, months, and years, festivals and ceremonies, cures for illness, and the art of reading and writing. We found a great number of such books. Since they contained nothing but the works of the devil, we burned them all, which caused them much grief.
In his attempt to convert the Maya to Christianity, Landa destroyed their religious possessions, burning many of the codices.
Pero dime, ¿y qué pasó con la escritura si los libros fueron destruidos?
What happened to the writing if the books were destroyed?
Por suerte, no solo en los libros escribían los mayas.
Fortunately, the Maya wrote not only in books. We find writing on their stone monuments and on pottery, as on this plate found in the Yucatan area. It's a passage from the Popol Vuh, a Maya legend.
Una leyenda maya.
The glyphic writing was forgotten after the burning of the codices. "50 years after Maudsley's photos were published, they were also used by scholars to study the glyphs and inspired many expeditions to the region. Glyphs were decoded, it was believed that all the texts were religious in nature, concerned with the passage of time and the observation of the stars. It was thought the Maya were peaceful people living in harmony with nature, scattered in the jungle. In 1946, a discovery was made which cast more light on the mystery of the Maya. The theories were about to dramatically change. Photographer Giles Healy was making an expedition to the jungle inhabited by the Lacandon.
I spent more than 2 years in the region with the Lacandon Indians filming their daily life. I noticed that from time to time the men would disappear for a couple of days. They were making a pilgrimage to a temple, but it was impossible to follow them. So I gave them shotguns with a small amount of powder and left for a month or two. When I returned, they said, "We like your guns, but we're out of powder." So I said, "I'll give you more powder if you'll show me your temples." I'll never forget being guided to Bonampak. They looked to the temples with much reverence, conducting a ceremony as we arrived at each one. As my eyes became accustomed to the dim lamplight, I saw that each room was painted with frescoes that showed a file of Maya chiefs in full regalia.
These paintings changed many of the ideas which were held about the Maya. Never before had we seen scenes of battle, slavery, and torture, painted by the Maya themselves.
Ya está aquí la respuesta.
Ah,
¿Ya
here's
tan
the
rápido?
response.
So rapidly?
Vamos a ver qué nos dice.
Yes, let's see what it says.
Este es el glifo del fuego. Y este es un roedor.
This is a glyph of fire, and this is a rodent, a haleb in Maya, or Tepesquintli. But we can't know the full meaning without the missing portion.
Podemos saberlo con certeza.
That translation looked easy, but it was the work of people of many countries over many
Ha sido
years.
labor de gente de diferentes países durante muchos años.
The first clue to the Maya writing was the numbers. The Maya established their units based on man's 20 digits. They were one of only 4 civilizations to develop the concept of zero. Numbers were put in different positions. Dots were worth 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 was a bar. 15 is 3 bars. 19 is 3 bars and 4 dots. 20 is 1 dot in a higher position with a shell for 0 below. A dot above with a dot below is 21. A dot above with a bar below is 25. 2 dots above means 2 20s, or 40. A bar in the upper position means 5 20s, 100. A dot with 2 zeros below is 400. A dot with 3 zeros below is 8,000. 8,421. The Maya were great mathematicians and astronomers. They calculated the length of the solar year with an error of only 23 seconds. The cycle of Venus with a margin of error of only 1 day in 6,000 years. Some of the buildings of Chichen Itza were so constructed as to mark the equinox and solstices. They also knew the cycles of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and were able to calculate eclipses of the sun 33 years ahead. All this was recorded in their books, and fortunately on stone, too. In 1921, the decoding of the tablet of 96 glyphs at Palenque began. By 1935, Enrique Palacios had accomplished the deciphering of the first few. Eric Thompson solved others in 1944, while the linguist Yuri Norsov discovered phonetics in the Maya writing. By 1958, half the glyphs could be read. In the 60s, Heinrich Berlin and Tatiana Proskuryakov decoded 20 more. In the 70s, Linda Scheel and Floyd Lounsbury, with Peter Matthews, discovered title glyphs of the royal family. Finally, in 1990, the whole panel could be read. The panel told the history of the royal family of